Abandoned. I'll be honest, I've struggled with this word. It's a central word that stands out on my birth certificate. If you look up the definition of what abandoned means, it says left without needed protection, care, or support. Left by owner. No longer held or thought of. All of which is true in my story. But I think the part I've had a hard time wrestling with is where it says no longer held or thought of. No longer thought of? Ouch. That itself leaves a wound. Can you imagine a mother who carries a baby for 9 months, delivers the baby through a C-section, and never thinks of the baby again? I find it hard to believe that my birth mother has never thought of me since November 13th, 1984. I've never met my mom. I was born and abandoned at a clinic outside Seoul, South Korea. I can only imagine just the emotional and thought process of her just having me and then walking out of that clinic that day. In 1984 and 1985, there were 650,000 births, and there was 500,000 abortions that were reported that year. That meant the moment that I was conceived, I only had a 57% chance of actually being born. I think I struggled with that feeling abandoned and understanding what my birth mother did until I really understood what God did in my life, as well as what kind of sacrifice she made for me. I mean, the most amazing sacrifice you could ever make, to give up your child for a better life that you know you cannot provide for them. That was just, revelation for me.
He will cry this way.
My parents were high school sweethearts. They got married right out of high school, and my mom wanted kids. And so my mom was at work one day and she overheard a coworker on the phone talking about adoption, and she immediately ran over to that coworker and asked for the information, and it was Bethany Christian Services. And finally they got the call that they were going to be parents. I think my parents had the similar society pressures that my birth mother had. Adoption wasn't as talked about as is now. My parents went against some pressure from internal family members that didn't want to adopt another race into the family. And then there's little Ryan and my little sister Emily, who's adopted from Korea as well. Not once can I ever say that they made us feel different. We always have felt like we were one of their own children. I know God's hand has been upon my life before I even took my first breath. There's no doubt in my mind of how real God is through my adoption story. And that's because He gave this random lady in Seoul, South Korea, so much grace and mercy and love for an unborn child that she would be able to endure 9 months of a grueling pregnancy, be able to not give in to the society pressures, not give in to family pressure, and still give me up to have a better life. My name is Ryan, and this is my story. A story in how big and real God truly is.